Hi, I'm Rachel Mayeri. I'm a maker and a teacher of art and science. Art that's inspired by or produced through science and technology. I want to show you a few examples of what I mean, and I'd also like to make a case for why this is really important at Harvey Mudd. Art, science, and technology play out in this ecological ballad. We see dancers, a database of sea creatures, merge through generative AI, a proliferation of biodiversity and species at a moment in which marine environments are under threat. What powerful art can do is help us to see the world with new eyes, to give us a space to consider what we value and what we can potentially lose. I had been at Mudd for 20 years before I had the opportunity to work alongside my brilliant STEM and HSA colleagues in an interdisciplinary class. This is a core course on climate change with a case study on California wildfire. So you can imagine it moved from being an academic class to a very personal one this year. The way we begin the class is by looking together at one single image, the 2018 campfires seen from satellite. And we talk about the image from different perspectives. Prof. Hamilton talks about the composition of wildfire smoke, and Prof. Hamilton talks about how smoke differentially affects different social economic groups. This is a really powerful exercise in interdisciplinary learning and conversation and collaboration. It also made me realize how visual art or imagery can be a universalizer, a platform that enables people from different perspectives to speak together. And I think that does fulfill the mission of the college. Forgive me for this literal image here of a silo, but it does a couple of things. First, it does remind us of the origins of the college in the Cold War and the way that the founders felt about the power that scientists have in society with something as atomic energy was, with a fresh awareness of how devastating it could be. It also was apparent at that time that we live in an information society and that we're all becoming much more specialized experts in our fields and have trouble speaking to each other because of our different languages, skills, and concepts. So I think that art, or I'm arguing that art, has a magic way of opening those silos and bringing us together for the important and complex issues we're facing today. Here's an example of an artwork by Isabel Beavers, who made a piece about the fire in Paradise, and the audience listens to wildfire survivors and also fire researchers and can have a space to think about what communities should do to respond in the future, to rebuild or to retreat. Beavers has a background in field science, sculpture, 3D modeling. She's teaching a course in world building, so students have the possibility of making cities for the future. Art about science has the potential of bringing scientific issues to a larger stage for people to be able to tangibly understand data, to see it, to interact with it. And this is so important in a democratic society that our public and our citizenry understand science and technology and are able to act on it, speak about policy, and be more involved. So while science is under attack in our society, art and science potentially can make a more active and informed citizenry. Most importantly, what I appreciate about being at Mudd is this culture of collaborative creativity, which you find in students, faculty, and staff all across the campus. We love solving problems together, and art is a way of bringing joy and innovation to all of us, and we need this more than ever. We need ways to strengthen our ties, and we need our community in a time of crisis. Now I will hand over the microphone to my wonderful colleague, John Ibung, who has been a great organizer of our project.
Cool. Thank you, Rachel, for showing that amazing art. Yeah, so I want to focus again on the students. At MUD, they are incredible. They're not only engineers, not only scientists, they're visionary artists, they're visual artists, they're musicians, they're creative writers. And so when this project began, I asked myself the simple question, how can we take creativity even further here at MUD? And through the team that we've built here, the question sort of evolved to more about how can the alliance of art, science, and technology contribute to society? And so after months of meetings and conversations, this is what we came up with. The Lab for Art, Science, and Technology, or LAST. Let me tell you more. Firstly, we want to bring new art science faculty here, as well as start new academic courses that focus on art and science. We'll build off interdisciplinary courses like Prof. Julie Madero and artist Casey Baden's Making Computer Science, where students learn about the intersections between weaving and computer science and use the digital loom in our makerspace to create all these materials and fabrics and quilts. We'll also have, like Prof. Carabo's Games for Climate Change, where students learned how to communicate climate change research through fun, physical board games. With our new art science faculty, we'll develop courses such as Dreaming of a Blue Planet, where students will use game engines to imagine regenerative futures, or the anthropology of robots, where students will think about the ethics of machines and also work with a music professor to teach a trumpet. Right, glad I got a few laughs there. We also want to have collaborative workshops outside of the classes. We can work with the engineering department. We'll work with the makerspace. We'll work with all the departments, even our IT department, on these fun, innovative workshops that have that added intellectual layer of art and science. And what we're especially excited about is our Artist in Residence program, in collaboration with Harvey Mudd's prestigious clinic program. We'll invite artists from all around the world to co-lead industry-sponsored projects, and the students will work directly with the artist, and they will lend their STEM expertise, and the culmination of that is stunning, groundbreaking technical art that will showcase to the world through exhibition. And speaking of exhibition, we're gonna develop a bigger, grander exhibition hall to house more wonderful art. And we also want students to have more creative resources, so we'll build an experimental media lab. Students will have access to creative technologies, such as large-scale projection mapping, 3D, virtual reality, augmented reality, kinetic sculpture, immersive media. There's just so much potential for the type of creative technologies that we can tap into. And then we'll also host a public lecture series where artists can talk about the intersections of art, science, and technology. And we'll also take students on field trips, take them to galleries, exhibitions, museums. And with our vast network of artists, especially through the HSA faculty that we know, we can take students directly to artist studios. And they can see how these sort of artists that work at the intersections work behind the scenes. And through clinic sponsorships and fundraising opportunities, we're gonna work with the most forward-thinking companies and foundations and to help support LAST. So yeah, that's a quick overview of the Lab for Art, Science, and Technology. We definitely would take time to put in the research and development to make sure it's a well thought out program, and As much as we wish we can do everything at once, it would be in a phased approach. And we have so many ideas, and really we think it's more than the sum of its parts, though. We think the Lab for Art, Science, and Technology aligns beautifully with Harvey Mudd's strategic plan. It's gonna innovate our education, it's gonna build transformative partnerships, help our community thrive, and ultimately evolve our institution. And most importantly, it's gonna help our students succeed. Through learning about the things about art and science and technology and understanding its impact in society, they're gonna become exceptional leaders. They're gonna be well-engaged citizens, and they're gonna solve problems, shape the world of today, and shape the world of tomorrow. And Lab for Art and Science and Technology will help with that, and it's gonna evoke wonder, joy, and spark innovation. So we really look forward to talking more about LAST with you today. Thank you.